So in this question, we're going to find the two types of changes and interpretation of those changes. One is absolute changes, the other one is relative changes. Notice that absolute change is going to be just how much changes from final value to initial value, but the relative changes is changes as a percentage. So two different things. But here you have to be careful here. The number here, the value is already in the percentage here. So this is kind of tricky. In January 2021, 14.2% of tests come back positive of the COVID. In June of that year, only 3% of tests come back positive. So here 14.2 is initial. I should say initial is IN, that's fine, is 14.2%. And the final going to be 3%, okay? Final as F as 3%. So absolute changes here. The first question is find the absolute changes from January 21 to June 21. So what you have to do? You do absolute value of final value, which is 3%, minus 14.2%. This gives you negative 11.2% as the absolute value, which is same as 11.2%. Okay, but notice that this is the percentage value as a change, absolute changes. So when you interpret the absolute changes, the COVID test results are test positivity rate decreases, right? Because 14.2% to 3%, and by how much? 11.2. Remember that in the other box here, 11.2%. That's correct. 11.2. Whenever you see 11.2, that number, that's called percentage points. That's what makes difference. Only from the relative change you put change as a percent, but in the absolute change, if your value is going to be as a percentage, you say that much changes as a percentage point, not by percent. That's what you got to be careful. Make sense? Okay, now relative changes going to be, here's a formula, absolute changes divided by initial value. So here absolute change is going to be 11.2 divided by initial value going to be 14.2 times 100%. So the idea here is you have to put this in the calculator. So you divide 11.2 by 14.2 and multiply by 100. Let's do here. So 11.2 divided by 14.2, okay, and you get that, you multiply by 100. So you get 78.87%. Let's choose the answer. So the test positivity rate are decreases obviously by 78.87 here percent. Remember that relative change is as a percentage. Whatever you get the answer here as a percent. So that's the answer. Submit your question. You got right. Thank you for watching. Bye.